I hope this is visible to everybody. The title of tonight is How to Manifest the Love of Your Life in 7 Simple Steps. And I say, even if you haven't had a relationship in 10 years, and I mean it, I've had clients who are, usually I have to say my clients are around early 40s. I have clients in their early 40s who haven't had a relationship since they were 25, 24 years old, all right? And they're able to find out what is blocking them and change their love life around. So there's absolute hope for everybody. Okay, so who am I? Actually, I specialize in women who are too nice, and I help them become emotionally strong, what I call emotionally strong, and manifest that relationship that they've always wanted. Because as I said, you can be in a terrible relationship, that doesn't count. Later on, I will talk about my story, and you will see what I mean. Okay, so what are we going to see in this presentation? First, I'm going to give you my formula. Okay, this is a formula. I've been a coach for 10 years, and this is a formula that I have applied to my life and to the life of many women that have been able to manifest the relationship they've always wanted. I'm also going to talk about what are the biggest mistakes that women make when using the law of attraction, because it's become very popular, the law of attraction, but some people, some women are not using it well. And also the knowledge that the only thing that's stopping you is yourself. And I didn't write it here, but I wrote it in the invitation, and we're also going to talk about what are the 3 most common beliefs, all right, that stop women. Okay, so why are you doing this now? I just want you to know that any woman can have the man that she wants. But if you don't act now, this is an honest question. If you say, well, I'm in my early 40s or late 30s or late 40s, and I've been doing the same thing basically all my life, and I still don't have the same results. Women, this is when you have to say, wow, I need help, right? What I know, my knowledge is not enough, so I need help. So, because if you don't do anything now, realistically, is your life going to be different 5-10 years from now? No, right? It will not be. Okay, good. So I want to say this because I also don't like to be sold in webinars. I'm not going to sell you anything, okay? Really, I'm here to give you as much value as I can, okay? And at the end, I do have a free gift for you. But I will not sell you anything from the beginning to the end, nothing. I will not sell you anything. Good. So you can breathe now. All right, good. So I want to say that this workshop is for you if you long for a beautiful relationship, not like a one-night stand, right? This is not for one-night stands. Especially it's for you if you have a history of falling for the wrong men and you would rather attract the right one, right? Because that's my specialty, okay? It's like, wow, like defining, wow, what is really blocking you? Yeah, it's also for you if you're frustrated and you look at other couples and you see, my gosh, but how did they make it? How can they have a happy relationship but not me? What's wrong, right? This is also for you if you are saying, wow, I am tired of facing life's challenges on my own, right? Life has beautiful parts and it also has tough parts, and it is so amazing to share them with somebody else. As I mentioned before, this is also for you if you see time passing by and you're afraid that you're going to be in the same situation 10 years from now. Or you're afraid of ending up alone. Okay? We don't want that. That's not for anybody. And I just want to say, if you're here today and you're feeling maybe self-conscious, let me please tell you that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. The only problem is that you haven't taken the steps that I'm about to teach you today, okay? Because I want you to know that if you believe we live in a universe of love and abundance, and you are part of that universe, actually love and abundance belong already to you. Honestly, it's already been created. Quantum physics says that we have all of the possibilities out there for us. It depends on which ones we're allowing in our lives. Your reality is a testament to what you are allowing in your lives. So once you implement what I'm going to teach you today, and I really encourage you to take notes, okay? When you implement that, you will be able to end your loneliness. Yeah, I think mankind was not created to be alone. As I said, you will be able to share your life, the good times and the bad times, with somebody else. You will listen to this. You will be able to tell the universe exactly the type of man that you want. Really? Okay, this is not fantasy. Women do this all the time. Actually, a client of mine today, we had one of our sessions and she said, Barbara, I cannot believe it. I went to this place. She is a very tall, thin African woman, black woman, and she wanted a very tall man that had to be taller than her. And she liked German guys. And she told me today, oh my God, I went to this place. As soon as I walked in, this guy could not take his eyes off me. And he's exactly what we said. And not only this, listen to this, you guys. She is a Christian and she loves to talk about Christianity and the Bible. And that is pretty hard to come across now, right? And this guy is a Christian as well and loves to talk about Jesus and the Bible. So she was, and this was in her list. Okay, so you believe me, the universe has created billions of galaxies, right? So for the universe to serve you on a silver plate, exactly the man you want, is easy, okay? Easy. Okay, so, and this man can come to you without you having to do dating apps, going on blind dates, and working for it, okay? When you rely on the universe, this is what I love the most, the universe brings things to you on a silver plate. My whole life has been like that. Good, and as we saw, once you are in the right relationship, what happens? That you will also have better health, really better health. And my favorite of all, when you find that the love of your life, this is a person that fulfills 3 characteristics in your life. He is your best friend, right? We need a best friend, but he is also your best lover, okay? So he's your passionate lover, and he is somebody who has compassion towards you, all right? This is also somebody who is tender, has tenderness, so you also have a spiritual connection to this person. This is what a complete love looks like. A lot of couples now, they live together as flatmates, right? They don't have sex. It's been years since they had sex. That's not the relationship we're talking about. You don't want that, and you know what? You don't have to settle for that. Very good. Now, I have to say it is not for you, really, and don't get me wrong, don't be offended, but it's not for you if you are. I know some people are super stubborn, they're set in their ways, and no, and well, you know, what can somebody else teach me? Of course, I know if you're here, that's not going to be you, okay? But I just want to emphasize, you need to be coachable. That means being humble, right? And say, okay, yes, and be able to accept, okay, some of the teachings that I'm going to tell you, and some of the ways that I'm going to take you out of your comfort zone, right? That might not feel so comfortable sometimes. Also, this is not worth your time if you're not going to implement anything, right? Because what's the point? And this is not for you if you become cynical about life. Cynical means, let me tell you, the cynical means that you become negative. And you're like, oh, that's not going to work for me. Oh, that's impossible. Oh, no. With this, honestly, with this mindset, nobody can help it. But if you say, well, I don't know how this could be, but it hasn't worked for me, but I am open-minded. I want to find out. Then it's for you. Okay. My unfair advantage. Why do I know this? Because I have studied and researched women's patterns and behaviors for 10 years. I've told you. I've been a coach for 10 years. I have worked with so many women specifically on that. What are the patterns that are keeping them single? I have helped so many women attract exactly the man they wanted to, like details. Okay, I will to share with you some of the stories of my clients, so you will know what I'm talking about. And And also, I have studied a lot and implemented in my life the laws of the universe, and I have manifested amazing miracles. Just to give you an example, I come from the Dominican Republic, a small island in the Caribbean, and my dream was to go to China and learn Chinese and experience Chinese culture. Like, what were the odds of that happening? And my parents didn't have enough money to send me to China. I manifested that. I got a full-blown scholarship from the US that allowed me to spend from the US, but it allowed me to spend a semester in China and learn Chinese. And now I've forgotten most of it, but okay. And I think one of my biggest strengths is that I can quickly discern what are the one or two, there are none more than that, okay? One or two beliefs that are keeping you blocked, that are blocking the abundance in love that is your birthright, okay? Good. So I told I was going to share my story with you, and what I was going to say is that I was an accomplished woman. I had a bachelor's degree from the US, as I said, with a scholarship, and also with another scholarship, I did an MBA in Scotland. But despite this, I think I'm reasonably attractive. I hope you think so too. And but despite this, I could never find a man who would truly appreciate me and value me and treat me as I deserve. And actually, I have to say this and be very honest. I would find some men that would treat me really well. I remember this guy who was courting me, and he would open the car door for me, and he was a true gentleman. You know what happened? I would think, my God, what's wrong with this guy? Why does he treat me so well? He must be an idiot, right? Can you imagine? Because I thought I don't deserve that. So when you think you're not worth something and somebody does it for you, you think something is wrong with them. Can you imagine that? So with that mindset, who was I going to attract? Well, a narcissist, which is exactly what happened. So I married a narcissist who was all about him, and everything is about him, and oh my God, and I had to be walking on eggshells, and he would criticize everything and anything that I did, and we were married 20 years. And it came to a point in my life where I said, oh my gosh, I've had enough. You know, this was a build up, okay? You don't come up with that one day, all right? This was a build up of years that I had already spent studying human behavior, learning about self-esteem. And so I was building myself up until one day I said, wait, this doesn't correspond me anymore. You know, what is this treatment? And so that day I walked out, okay? So this is what I realized when I said, my gosh, I don't deserve this. I walked out, and you know what I did? I said, I know how to manifest things. I'm going to use it now to manifest a new man. And let me tell you this, women, for many of us, and it was certainly my case, our identity is so tied up to our relationship status. Believe me when I tell you that a woman who was divorced, I always said, oh my gosh, or a woman who was single, well, for her, you know, she's not good enough. I honestly believed that until it was my turn to get divorced. And I realized, wow, my identity was so tied to being a wife. Who am I if I'm not a wife? And what saved me was to realize, wait, my dream had always been to have a beautiful relationship. Okay, I couldn't have it with the father of my children, but I could have it with another man, right? So that's what I did. I asked the universe, I did my list myself, this how I want him, like this, like this, like this. And honestly, 3 months later, I met this wonderful man that you can see here on the picture. And he's exactly what I wanted. I asked the universe for a very sweet man who would treat me as his equal, right? Because I was so tired of being treated as less than, because a narcissist always thinks he's more than you. And you know the best part, women, is how I met him. I met him on a hiking trip, on my first ever hiking trip. I always wanted to go hiking, and I had never done that. And I said, well, now that I left my relationship, I'm going to do things my way, because my ex-husband never wanted to go hiking, so I'm going to go hiking. The very first time I went hiking, he was on that hiking trip, and we fell in love instantly that day. Not love at first sight, because it wasn't when I saw him that I fell in love, but it was love at first meeting. It's called, actually, that has a name, because it was during that meeting, that one day hike, we fell in love, and we couldn't be apart anymore. So now, what are we here for? These are the 7 steps, and as I said, I urge you to write them down, okay, and to keep them in front of you. So step number 1 is to uncover your hidden blockages. As I said, this is the cornerstone, listen to me, to any and every coaching, okay? You first have to find out what is blocking me, and then you can start a whole new life. Step 2 is really deciding what is it that you really want, right? The universe doesn't work well. If I would have said to the universe one day, well, I want to go to China, then they're no, rather Japan, no. Or I would have said, yeah, I want a guy who's super sweet and has blue eyes, and then the next day, no, I want him to have black, brown eyes, and I want him to be whatever, right? The universe needs clarity, and so do you. Step number 3 is making space for the new. I said to people, this is a spiritual law. If my hands are tied, if I'm holding on to an old boyfriend that I had that I cannot, get rid of, or like many of my clients, in the beginning when we start working, they are in relationships of called friends with benefits, right? So if you're in a relationship with friends with benefits, it's not going to work either. You have to let go of the old. You have to make space for the new. Step 4 is to ask in the correct way, okay? If you say, oh my gosh, yeah, right, universe, listen to me. I mean, no, the universe, we can manipulate people like that, but the universe is pure. It is source. It is God. It is whatever you want to call it. And it is not, you cannot manipulate it. It is unmanipulatable. Step 5 is to wait outside of your comfort zone. If you just, oh, I'm waiting, but I'm doing everything exactly as I used to, then that means you haven't changed. And you need to change, right? You need to bring the internal change to your outside world as well. Step 6 is to prepare for your prince, right? Is to become yourself emotionally mature, and I will tell you why. Because if you are right now with a lot of issues and a lot of drama in your life, who are you going to attract? Somebody similar. So I don't want that for you, and I know you don't want either. So you prepare yourself so that you attract somebody of higher quality, higher caliber. And step 7 is don't rush into the relationship. Yeah, because when something is really great, you want to take your time. You want to make him sweat for you. You want to make sure that's really the guy that you asked the universe for, right? And take it one step by step. So many women, my goodness, they rush into relationships so quickly that they kind of kill it before it gets started. Really, they kill it before it gets started. So no, you are not in a hurry. You're going to enjoy every step of this delicious process. Very good. So let's go into the details. Step 1 is uncovering your hidden blockages. Why do we need this step? Because without the right diagnosis, you can be doing tons of things, but tons of the wrong things. And you could actually be making your situation worse, right? I'm sure maybe some of you can identify yourself with this, because you're thinking, wow, it's like me. I went on a ton of dates and what is it, a dating app called? I forget now, what everybody's using now. And what happens that many women do that, they go on tons of dates and their self-esteem only plummets. Because as you go on these dates and then the guy doesn't call you back, the guy's not interested, at the end you're like, oh my gosh, so you end up worse than you were to start off, right? So you really have to find out, what is it that is blocking me? Is it some of my clients because they don't feel they're lovable enough? oh no, somebody's always better than me because, for example, they were always compared to somebody when they were little, or I'm nothing special, or whatever. A client of mine said, no, no, I think I'll never marry because I like my aunts. I have many aunts who never married, right? So it's amazing how individual this can be. So how do you do this? To be honest, perfectly honest, women here, you really need somebody one-on-one to uncover this with you. This is like detective work. And you need somebody who can ask you the right questions, who is listening super well to even things that you're not even realizing that you're saying, all right? This is so amazing. I included this in my email of today that I sent you. One of my newest clients, she said, my goodness, Barbara, I have been wondering all my life why people say I look so good, and she tells I'm sexy, I'm attractive, I'm beautiful. How come I can never have the right relationship? And I will tell you this, you know what she found out on our second session? That she was seeing relationships through the eyes of her mother, and her mother had this schema of relationships in which men were either strong or weak, and so weak men, you know, they would feel, the women would feel superior to the weak men, and then no, they would despise them, actually despise them. And then they were seeking relationships where then they would be like, oh, really weak, and the guy was very strong. But then what happened? Then the guy would despise them, right? Because actually they despise themselves being weak. So when she made this discovery and she could see this so clearly in her life, things are going to start changing, right? We just discovered this in the last session. So I like this phrase. It says, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. You need to know what is the truth. What is the thing that is blocking you personally? I have an example here of a client of mine called Natalie. Let's call her that. I don't use the real names of my clients. But she always felt that she was not lovable enough. And you know what happened? When we worked together, she now manifested a man who gets up early in the morning, although he doesn't have to, but he gets up just to prepare coffee and breakfast for her. And when she comes home, he cooks dinner for her. And she used to feel like she was crap, and she would always end up with these narcissistic men, and she was the one who had to be like, trying to please them. And now this guy treats her like a princess. But you know what? I have to tell you this. She can accept being treated as a princess because she healed her emotional wounds, right? So now she can appreciate it instead of thinking like I was thinking as well. Oh my God, what's wrong with this guy? Why does he treat me so well? So step number 2, we said it was find out what you want. So getting clarity of what you want helps you identify your own values, okay? What type of man will make you happy? Actually, this I've noticed a lot. And maybe even the honesty, maybe the man of your life is already in your life, but you cannot even see him because you don't know what you're looking for. Do you know that if we don't know what we're looking for, the thing could be right in front of our noses, and we will not be able to identify that, okay? So how do we do that? By following our heart. We do that by making this list, as I said, with details. Actually, many people think this is one of the mistakes. People think, no, I cannot give the universe too many details, and I'm going to make it too hard for the universe to find that person. The universe is going to be like, wow, she's so demanding. Wrong. Remember, the universe is so powerful, and the more details you give, the easier you make it. Yeah, I picture this. Picture that you have a son or daughter, and it's Christmas is coming up, and your son or daughter says, "Oh, mom," and you ask him, "What do you want for Christmas?" And they say, "Yeah, mom, I want a toy." A toy. Many of us are doing that. Oh my, oh God, universe, send me a man, any man. That reminds me of the song from ABBA. I need a man. I need a man for the night or whatever, right? So you don't want to do that. Actually, the more specific you are, the easier you make it for the universe to say, this is for this person. So when you want to be consistent, as we said, and not one day it's like this, not no, and you want to express it in the positive. Okay, you want to express whatever you want. A client of mine was saying in the beginning, oh, I don't want a smoker. I said, you don't say that because you are focusing on a smoker. Then the universe is going to give you a smoker. You have to say, I want a healthy man, right? With very healthy habits. An example. And I like this quote from myself that says, when you send conflicting messages to the universe, you paralyze your powers of creation. You really do. You can see that in your own life. Let's say you wanted to cook dinner, okay? And you say, well, I'm going to cook a pasta with bechamel sauce. And they're like, no, with tomato sauce. No. Actually, it's gonna be rice with beans. I mean, in the end, are you gonna end up with anything? No. You would have spent all that time going back and forth with zero results. So, oh yeah, this is what I was telling you guys. You have to say things in the positive. It happened to me. When I had manifested my husband, you know, my ex-husband. But I was telling the universe at that time I wasn't so good at manifesting, obviously, because he became my ex. And I was saying to the universe, oh, I don't want him to be too tall. I don't want him to be too tall because I'm really short. Huh? I'm 150. And I don't, super tall man, it's uncomfortable. So, but I was expressing it like that. I don't want him to be too tall. What happened? He is 192. So actually, when we walk together down the street, people would turn around to look at us. The difference, our height difference was brutal, as a friend of mine told me. Okay. So, yes, so there's an example of another client of mine, and Fanny, and she was so clear, you guys, as to what she wanted. She said, I want a very passionate man. She had married like a super cold guy, that he's Latino looking because that's what she likes. I like Scandinavians, she likes Latinos, and who would be crazy about her. And it was amazing because exactly, this guy is so passionate. Only a really passionate person does this, that he asked her to marry her after only 3 months of meeting her. So, and they're already married because they did things so quickly, and she is super happy. So yay! So people like to go really fast. Otherwise, so in this case, they both wanted to go really fast. Okay, so step 3 is make space for the new, right? As I was saying, what happens if your hands are full? Can you fit something else? No, you cannot. And even if you would try, then you would drop some things. So, do you have friends with benefits in your life? Or are you going from one night stand to one night stand? Or are you hung up on a past boyfriend? Or even if you're hating, are you hating your ex, right? It doesn't matter if it's hatred. We could be thinking about one person all the time, right? Our hearts can be consumed by that person, whether it's because of love or because of hatred. For the universe, is the same thing. Is, wow, this heart is full already with that guy. So, how do you make space for the new? I want you, the first thing is to reject old standards. Sometimes when we don't value ourselves, especially as women, our standards are so low. Basically, it's, oh, I want any guy, for example. So any guy from our past that maybe treated us like crap, or who is treating us like crap now, a guy who only calls us when he wants to have sex, right? No, so you get rid of the old that didn't serve you, obviously, but you raise your standards. You say, wait a minute, now I want a guy who treats me like a princess. I want somebody amazing, right? You don't settle for less than what you want, okay? When I work with women, I say, no, you remain so determined. I'm not going to settle, because I tell you, once you marry somebody, it better be somebody amazing, because spending the rest of your life with somebody is a big commitment, right? So you don't want to start with, well, I mean, it's not that great, but, you know, whatever, at least he asked me to marry him. Okay. and make room for the true desire of your heart. What does your heart really desire? And by this, I mean this. Many times we think we want something, but you know what? We are choosing that because to impress others, or because this is what society expects, or this is what my parents wanted from me. No, I want to teach you, and you have to learn to discern what is in your heart. Because in our society, we are trying to think what is in our mind. Actually, we're thinking always instead of feeling. And I'm an expert at emotions, so I teach you to feel through your heart. As an example, a client that I would call Theresa, she had a toxic boyfriend. She also had friends with benefits. But you know what happened after she got rid of that and she raised her standards? A man that she had always known, okay, but she never thought he would like her, reappeared into her life, and she realized it was exactly what she had asked the universe for. Okay, this guy reappeared into her life. Why? Because exactly now she was open to that. And she was like, I cannot believe this is the guy that I had, that I had never even thought of, and he was the right guy for me. So, step number 4 is to ask wisely. So, how we ask for something is super, super crucial, okay? To make you understand this very simply, if your child was asking for something as a spoiled brat, would you give it to him or her? Let's imagine your child was saying, no, mom, because no, I mean, I want an iPhone because all my friends have an iPhones, and you're so mean. You never buy me anything I really want. Do you honestly feel like going out and buying it for him or her? And as I said before, maybe you do because you are easily manipulated. But believe me, the universe is not. The universe will say, wow, what an ugly energy. So if you have an ugly energy, you can only receive ugly things. Listen to me, the language of the universe is energy. That's why the universe is not really paying attention to words. It's paying attention to energy. That's why if I focus on, I don't want somebody too tall, I'm like, God, too tall, and I'm focusing on too tall, right? So the energy is on the focus. So if how you ask, is it in a nice way? Are you saying, wow, universe, I'm so thankful for my life, but now I would love something better. I would like to grow in that area of my life. If your child would ask you like that, right, you would rush to the store and buy that for him or her, right? So how do we ask? Wisely. How do we ask in the proper way? We ask with humility, because humility ensures that you're asking, you're not demanding, right? You are just asking, oh, universe, this is what I would love. You see the energy that I create when I say this is what I would love? It's a beautiful energy. Beautiful energy will attract beautiful things into your life. So you have to ask also with trust. That means, yes, you have to let go, not become obsessed. When we become obsessed, it's because we're not trusting in the universe. So a large part of success in any area is called trust. Yeah, I already gave my order to the universe. Like me, I said I already told the universe exactly what I want. So now I'm not gonna. I didn't go on dating sites. I didn't do anything specifically to find this man. No, I went about my life. I started to hike, as I said, and I met him there. And also asking wisely involves thanksgiving. Yeah, the energy of gratitude creates miracles. Again, let me use your child as an example. Imagine your child says, Mom, oh mom, you are the best mom in the world. Oh my gosh, I love what you do for me every day. I love how you prepare such a nice lunch for me. Oh mom, I love this toy that you bought me, so beautiful. What are you going to do? Are you going to feel like buying him something else? Oh, yes, you are. You actually, listen to me. You're going to be looking for things that you could get your child to please him, because the way he says thank you to you, I mean, just wow, makes you want to be super generous. The universe in that respect is exactly like us. So a result that I can think of is a client of mine that we call Fiona. She asked with a humble and faithful heart. She was really tired of a very abusive marriage, actually. And you know what happened? A guy who used to be her boyfriend when she was 19 years old, okay? And by this time she was like 45, something like that. This man showed up in her life. Oh no, she was, yeah, exactly, 21 plus, okay, 40. This guy showed up in her life 21 years later. And because they already had this story, I mean, he proposed to her also very quickly. So your attitude determines, actually somebody said your attitude determines your altitude. And more so when you're asking and dealing with the universe, which is a pure energy. So step 5, wait outside of your comfort zone. So why waiting? Because waiting implies that there is a time, right, that needs to run between the moment that you ask for something and the moment you receive it. And your attitude, again, we're talking about attitude and energy. What energy you're in, what attitude you're in while you wait is crucial, right? How do you need to wait then? You need to wait patiently. Because I tell you, even if that's really fast, meeting somebody 3 months after asking for him or her, right? But you still have to wait, even if it's 3 months, right? So during that time, you have to be patient. You have to not make your happiness dependent on the outcome, right? Because that's called obsession. And the third point is fantasizing. What's the difference between fantasizing and obsessing? The energy. Think about it. When you're fantasizing, you're like, wow, imagining that you are meeting this guy who is amazing and you love him and he's crazy about you and he tells you, my God, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever met in my life. And I mean, as you're fantasizing, your energy is beautiful. So you will attract something beautiful. But obsession means, oh my God, I have to have this. Oh my God, I have to meet this guy. And some women are like that when they come to me, right? They've already been obsessing for a long time. Oh my God, I have to find somebody. No, I cannot be left alone. Oh my gosh, no. What happens? What's the energy? Feel it. The energies of desperation. Is it a beautiful energy? No, it's not. It's an ugly energy, right? It's an ugly energy. So it is very important that you're not in an ugly energy. And that's why I like to tell people you have to get busy with something else, right? So you don't obsess about it. So you make your command to the universe, this is how I want him, tall, dark hair, blue eyes, whatever, this nationality and these qualities, big heart, super generous, for example. But then you have to go about improving yourself, right? You don't focus on that so that you don't become obsessed. So Amber, a client of mine, she had been with an alcoholic. Actually, before the alcoholic, she had been married to a full-blown narcissist, and she had been in such a abusive relationship that he actually used to hit her. So he was physically abusive, and she was a total codependent, okay? When I met her, she was out of that relationship, but she had fallen for another narcissist. This guy didn't beat her up, but she was a total addict. He was an alcoholic. And you know what happened? That when she was able to get out of that codependency and send that guy packing, although that was, as I said, the toughest thing she had done in her life, you know, because to kick and habit like codependency is something huge. But you know what happened? That this guy, again, this guy that she already knew, and he had been like, he had low self-esteem and he was overweight, and this is how she knew him. But this guy, then through time, he actually changed his self-esteem and he changed his physique. And then he came back and then he dared to like approach her and court her. And they have such a beautiful relationship. She's always plastering Facebook with photos of the two of them because they make a super beautiful couple, because she is a yoga teacher, so she has like an amazing body, right? And now this guy, after his transformation, he looks amazing as well, so they are a very beautiful couple. Okay, so step 6, preparing for your prince. Okay, so preparation is an ongoing process, right? It's not boom, something that you're gonna do in one session. And it involves changing your self-image. Because actually you don't realize it, but everything we do is according to our self-image, right? So if I think I am unimportant, right, and easy, I'm an easy girl, then I will attract someone who's only interested in one-night stands. Okay, simple as that. So how do you prepare? You prepare by changing your self-image. So as I said, this is an ongoing process. But you change your self-image, you have to fall in love with yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't think you're amazing, how can you expect somebody else to think that, right? And I want you to fall in love with your life, yeah? Because you have to be loving your life so that the man that you're going to attract, you know what, he's going to be just a cherry on the cake, but your life is already cake. And that makes you so attractive, right? Because who is attracted by somebody who is desperate? Nobody. But when you see, wow, this woman has like a kick-ass life, I want to be part of it, right? So this is part of how you prepare. And oh yeah, I love this story. A client of mine called Ariadne. Actually, she used to see herself as fat. These are the words, and you would see her; she was not fat at all, but like she was as thin as me, and she used to think of herself as somebody common and nothing special. And through our work together, we changed her image to that of a diamond. Okay, a diamond is something precious and expensive, very expensive. This is actually what came out, that this is what she was longing to be instead. Okay, and I think it's so fitting. She's a private banker, and what happened, that one of her clients, a high net worth individual, suddenly, but like suddenly, she went to a business meeting. She knew this guy also for years, and all of a sudden, he said, you know what? I have been liking you for the longest time, but he had never dared to ask her, right? To tell her, and to ask her, you know, do you want to go out with me? So you see what happened when she changed, the miracle happened. That's exactly how it works. And so brings us to know our last step. Our last step is don't rush into the relationship. Why? Because when something is truly important, you take the time to appreciate it. And you will tell me, well, but some of the people move very fast. It's true, but these are people that already knew each other, you know, in the past. So it was like a re-encounter, okay? And I have to say this to women, because in our society nowadays we have lost touch with that. But when we get intimate before knowing each other well, that can backfire in so many ways. Okay, I want you to know that for a man to truly value you, he has to find for you, invest in you, be willing to give things up for you. Men especially need to feel that, wow, this woman is something special. I had to give things up for her. This makes him appreciate you so much more. And this is like a confirmation to you that, look, I'm so valuable, because you will need this to have a healthy relationship, women, because our tendency is to, oh, well, you know, not think of ourselves as much. So what you want is to say, wow, I am super valuable. I'm lucky to have him, but he's super lucky to have me. Okay, so how do we do that? You verify that he's really what you asked for, right? You take the time. Is this really what I asked for? Is this really what I want? You savor things. I tell you. So imagine this is what we love in movies. Which have you ever seen a movie that the guy and the girl meet, and the first minute that they meet, they start kissing and making out? Has that ever made like a really good film? No, right? What are the films that we love? The films like I'm thinking right now of The Horse Whisperer. Have you guys seen that movie with Robert Redford and Kristen Scott Thomas? And then what happens exactly? They meet in the beginning. They don't like each other because they're so different. But then they kind of grow on each other. But actually, she's married. So so there's this time when they want each other, but they don't. They're not physical yet. And this build up is beautiful. And if you are going for the love of your life, you want to have a beautiful build-up that you can look back and say, oh my God, wasn't that an amazing time? And that you guys say, yes, it was. Okay, and another example I have is Teresa. We'll call her Teresa. Oh my goodness. This woman, she was always jumping straight into relationships, and she didn't understand why they would end so abruptly. So the thing would start super quickly and super quickly also it would end up completely. The guys then didn't want to know anything about her, okay? And after working together, she realized she also had an affection addiction. So she learned to manage this. She learned to be free from this. And when she was then, she met this guy. She didn't know before. She met this guy, and then she gave herself the time to say no. Okay, let's get to know each other. And the guy wanted more and said no. I mean, I still don't know you well. And you know what happened? She had changed. She had always thought, if I do that to a guy, I mean, he's going to drop me off immediately. So she was attracting what? These guys that just wanted something quick and easy and bloof and jump to the next thing, right? So when she learned this, then this guy, wow. She attracted first a different man that wanted something serious, and a man who took his time and learned to swoon her over, and now they have a beautiful relationship. And that's what I want for each woman on this planet, okay? So let's recap really quickly. I hope you wrote them down. Step one is you have to uncover what is blocking me specifically. Okay, step two is finding out what you want. What is the man exactly that you want? And the more detailed you are, the better, okay? You don't want to put 100 details either, because when we do that, we lose focus on what's important, okay? But 10 things, great. And knowing which are your top 3 priorities, that's great. Step 3, making space for the new. So you have to let go. If you have old letters from boyfriends, or if you are involved now in crappy relationships, you're going to raise your standards and kick all that crap out of your life. Step 4 is asking wisely, is befriend the universe. It's amazing to be friends with the universe. Befriend the universe. So ask, like you would ask a good friend, oh, listen, is it possible? Actually, I want to tell you guys this this apartment that I'm in right now. I was looking for an apartment, and I loved this building. I had come to this building to see an apartment like 6 months before, but I was not ready to move in. And after spending 6 months looking at other apartments, I realized, my God, the best place was that first apartment I saw in that building. And you know what I said to the universe? I said, literally, verbatim, I said these words, universe, wouldn't it be possible to have an apartment in that same building? Women, 10 days later, all my friends know this, 10 days later, I saw an ad. It was for a flat in that building. And that flat, then I rented it. It was for rent at that time. And I was so in love with the flat. I kept saying, my gosh, I love this flat. I love this flat. Thank you for the flat. And you know what happened? A year later, They put it on sale. And because the universe is amazing and knew what I could afford and what I couldn't afford, the flat, they sold it to me with a 30% discount. I became the owner of this flat on the 3rd of August, and for a 30% discount. So anything is possible. When you learn to manifest, you can apply it to anything in your life. Okay, so I'm getting sidetracking. So you ask wisely, you wait patiently and outside of your comfort zone, right? Doing new things. You prepare for your prince. You change yourself. The only one that needs to be changed is you. And when you learn to focus on that, also you have healthy relationships because you stop trying to change the other person, right? Especially men hate to be changed. And step 7, don't rush into the relationship, right? Make him invest in you. Allow him to show you how much he cares for you. Allow him to appreciate you and to know that, wow, this is some special woman. It's not a woman that is throwing herself at any man's feet, right? You don't want to throw yourself at any man's feet. Okay, so that's right. I promised you a gift, and I have set aside some time to talk to you if you want to. This is completely free. This is if you say, wow, this resonates with me. I love that. I would love those results. And you think, well, but it's going to be hard to implement this all on my own. I can understand that. So I have set aside some time to speak to you. Do you qualify? I honestly, and I mean this, you need to be somebody that wants this badly enough, okay? That you reach a point that you say, my God, I've tried so many things and I've gotten just the same result for, my whole life, or maybe different, but at the end it's the same because I've never had a truly satisfying relationship that has lasted, right? So I am ready, I am coachable, I am ready to listen, I am ready to put things into action, and I am willing to open my heart, okay? And I want to stress this to you. If you don't do anything now, where will you be 5 years from now? If you continue to do what you've been doing so far, or maybe making tiny little changes. And I have to say something about this because I'm a coach, okay? And I owe you the truth. It's been proven scientifically, this has been measured. When you first hear new information, right, your brain has like a synapses of information, right? It means it makes a connection, a new connection. Do you know what happens if you don't continue to hear the same message and continue to experience things around this new topic? After 2 or 3 days, that's it, synapses in your brain is gone. So the new connection that you finally were able to make after 2 or 3 days is gone if you don't start putting it into practice and you don't start hearing and hearing over again this, okay? So I urge you, so listen, if you want to sign up for one of these free calls, you can click on this link. What's today? Today's Monday. Yeah, okay, that's good. You can click on this link. I will be really busy in the weekend, but I've set aside the rest of this week. So you can click on this link now, okay? Now would be a good time. This will open up in a new tab in your browser. And then you can fill in some details, not a lot, that I have put there. You can fill that in and you can come back or you can hear me while you're doing this, okay? But I would love to get to know you personally and help you to already start to uncover what we will do in this first call. I explain to you how I work and I hear a little bit more about your story, okay? And we already start to get an idea of what's blocking you. Is that cool or what? Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. Again, this is the link. And I promised you something else in the email. I said that this was truly live, like I'm real, and you can ask me questions. You can put questions in the chat. Okay, let me go back to Zoom. So you can put questions in the chat. How do I go back? I always get confused in this part. um, 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 where is it? Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm here. I hope, I'm not sure if you guys see me? But anyway, that's not important. Let's go to the chat, okay? And please feel free to ask me any question that you want, okay? I can see this here. First of all, did you guys like the presentation? Oh yes, and by the way, I said, okay, the other things I promised was a common mistake that women make when using the law of attraction, yes, is that they ask for things in the negative, okay? So, and I tell you I just remember one of my clients, she was saying, oh my God, but I don't like Asians. I don't want an Asian man for, I don't know, whatever reason. I don't want an Asian man. I don't want an Asian man. I told her, don't say that in negative. Well, she was a bad student. She didn't listen to me in that. And you know what happened? That she found a man who is exactly what she wanted. Big heart, generous, kind, soft, that they love to go hiking together because she loves outdoor activities. A guy that also loves outdoor activities. They go hiking, they go biking in the mountains in Switzerland. Everything is perfect, except what? He's 100% Asian, like not even half, right? Because he lives in Switzerland, not even like, well, mother Swiss and father Asian, no. He was adopted by a German family, actually. They moved to Switzerland and he's 100% Asian. So, okay? So that's what I meant when I said, you have to listen to me. So, you don't ask for things in the negative. You always ask things in the positive, right? And I also promise to tell you common thoughts, beliefs that keep women from having what they deserve. Common one is, I'm not lovable, right? Something happened in their childhood, and we take a look at that too, and they reach the conclusion that they're just not lovable. And when you have that, actually one of the clients I mentioned to you, because she felt not lovable, as when a guy would like her, you know what she would say? And the guy would say, well, I really like you. She would tell me, oh, Barbara, but you know, I'm afraid. She realizes it was subconsciously, but she realized, wow, I think that once he gets to know the real me, he won't like me anymore, right? Because she had this image of herself as not lovable. So that's a really common one. Another super common one, beautiful women, is that we don't see ourselves as important enough. Okay, that's super sad. We just don't see ourselves as important enough, and I don't want that to stop you either. Okay, and a third really common reason is that we think we don't deserve that. Okay, we don't deserve it for whatever reason. Maybe we deserve success, we deserve money, but we don't deserve love. You know, because we're not good enough, right? We're not good enough is a very common thing that we all suffer from. But in our work together, you discover more specifically than that what is stopping you, okay? You per se. Good. So, does anybody have a question? Let me put this back on. Let me see. Can I? Oh, yeah, good. I can see this still. Let me put it here. So does anybody have a question? Or as I said, tell me, did you like the webinar? You can write in the chat and I will see it. Or if you have a question, let me know. Use this to learn. Change your, yeah, there's one new message. I couldn't see it. Okay. So Kristen said, thanks for your presentation. I have a question. What if you're asking for your twin soul, but isn't a full transformation? How long can it take before the universe take action? Naomi said, really loved it. Thank you, Naomi. How long can it take before the universe takes action? Actually, Kristen, the universe is always taking action. Okay, it really always is. We don't control the time per se. I love to say to the universe, I don't know when, you know best. Actually, Kristen, the universe knows best, because think of the universe as like your higher self, your collective wisdom. So it knows best. And the important thing is not how fast does it happen, is how well does it happen. Okay? And I tell you something, Kristen, maybe you are saying, this is the guy, this is the guy, he just needs to be transformed. Be very careful with that, Kristen. You know why? Because this is how most women end up in abusive relationships, because you're thinking he's going to change. Oh, he's like this now, but he's going to change. Oh, you know, he treated me badly, but he's going to change. One thing I can tell you is that the universe is not going to violate anybody's will. Maybe you want him to change. Maybe he doesn't want to change. Okay? And then the universe is not going to force him. And on his life, in his life, what will prevail is his own will. Okay? What he truly wants. So please don't be obsessed. It has to be him. Remember what I said? I used to be like that. Okay? I used to be like that. Like, oh, it has to be the father of my children that I have my great love. It was not. The universe said, okay, wait, your dream is to have an amazing relationship. I'm going to give it to you. It cannot be with the father of your children because he's not willing to change enough. He's going to be with somebody else. At the end, doesn't matter that it's a father or not of my children. Those are details. Okay? So Sanya says, thank you. How long it can take? I'm practicing for 1 year and I'm in limbo all my life. Okay, Sanya, listen. If you feel this way, seek help. Don't stay like that. I'm just doing the same thing and it's not working. I'm doing the same thing. 1 year is too long. I can tell you that. Okay? Let's put it this way. If you work with somebody, it doesn't have to be me. If you work with somebody good that knows what they're doing, it's going to be faster. Okay? Because think about it. How can we find anything on our own when we're not really sure what we're doing or when somebody's helping you? Okay? So, and I mean, it depends. If you are, wow, really being transformed and you see a lot of changes, and then it's wonderful. Then you're enjoying the ride, okay? But if you're in doubt, find out. Have a conversation. Seek help, okay? Okay. Yeah, and don't, please, remember that's what I said, don't stay in limbo your life. If you've already been in limbo all your life, don't stay like that, Sanya. Sign up for a call. We talk. Let's just get to know each other, okay? No agenda. We get to know each other. We see if I could help you. Simple as that. But don't stay like that. Actually, I would tell this to all the women here. A sign of that we don't value ourselves enough is when we are not willing to invest in ourselves, to ask for help. I remember I'm an expert teaching women who are too nice how to become kick-ass. Why? Because when we don't value ourselves, we don't even dare to ask for help. We're embarrassed to ask questions. We're embarrassed to ask for a favor. We're embarrassed to say we need help. We think, no, I'm not. Actually, that's the thought behind. I'm unworthy. So I don't want you to do that to yourself. Say, damn it, I want to change my life. I want to have this relationship that I've longed for my whole life. Now I go all the way. Okay, now I make amazing change in my life, period. No excuses. I don't give myself any more excuses. How about that? Okay, very good. Kristen said, thank you, with pleasure, Kristen. Really, and listen, and you know what I've asked the universe? Now the universe has given me so many things. Now my wish to the universe with my business is that I want to have, you know how those gynecologists, they have a wall full of photos of babies that they have delivered, right? I've asked the universe, I want a whole wall of happy couples that I helped form, that through my work they came about. Is that beautiful? I want a whole wall. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna say goodbye now, and I thank you all for being in the call. I really enjoy sharing my knowledge and helping women. Um, yeah, helping women find love, because what is greater than love? Okay, Naomi said that's beautiful. I really love and appreciate the way you explained every stage. Ah, thank you, Naomi. I appreciate those comments. Thank you so much. And Natalie, you're welcome. My pleasure. Really, my pleasure. I know that, women, you deserve love, and love is already out there for you. The universe is like that. Everything we could ever want is already out there. That's why I'm so shocked. So many of my clients that the guy who they end up with is somebody they already knew. And I say, isn't that amazing? He was already there. But they were just blocking him from coming into their lives. Okay? So don't block anymore. Find out what's blocking you and get rid of that and live the life that you really want to live, okay? And Sylvia said, thank you. This was great. Thank you, Sylvia, for joining me. I enjoyed it more than you guys did. So I send you a big kiss to all of you. Okay, take care, and to love. I toast to a beautiful love, beautiful relationship, beautiful marriage. Bye-bye.